Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Boycott Everything podcast, brought to you by CGN.US, The Drastic Measure, and The Breaking Company. You guys can find us here on the YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications. You can follow us on our Twitter accounts. They'll be linked down in the video description, as well as they'll be on screen. And you can also find us on Xvideo.
What the fuck is Xvideo? Oh my God, Wooly, where do you look, man? We have to have a conversation about how you know about all these porn sites.
Let's just say I have a lot of alone time.
You're telling me. I guess it fits really well in with hello everybody. We're in episode 47.5, Mark 2.
Version A.
Version A. Version A is the most important part. We're doing an episode on mental health and social media and how it affects mental health. Today I have CriticalAnger.
Oh, jeez.
That is the coolest fucking thing.
Today I have CriticalAnger.
Hey.
By the way, CriticalAnger is a dog, so this ought to be a very fun conversation.
My dog just decided to get freaked out by nothing. He's wearing a shock collar at the moment too, which is quite impressive.
That was beautiful. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us what you do on the internet.
Well, former streamer. I've been doing some graphics work for a couple different places over the last little bit. I got a lot of time on my hands, to be honest. But basically, I'm on disability, all that kind of stuff. I got chronic pain and all that. I've just been putzing around Discords, getting banned from Discords, getting banned from Twitter, Facebook. I'm probably, on the fence right now. We'll wait and see what happens.
All right, so you know a lot about social media. Got it.
Oh, yeah. I've been a pretty big part of it, it seems.
Anything you want to promote? Anything at all?
I opened up a new Discord server. I don't have a link to it. I'm probably not going to provide a link to it, but I'll eventually run a membership drive for that.
All right. And the other guest today is somebody I love to death. Like, he's legit one of the best human beings I've ever met. I'm gassing him. I'm gassing him up so I can make him feel like shit later. That's all this is.
Oh, okay.
No, he's the owner of our sponsor, CGN. So, Z?
Yeah, no, I am Z. Heck, and I do own CGN. As I guess CGN's it's a social media platform for gamers. I've founded and created and developed it like 5 years ago, and I've slowly built it into what it is today. It didn't always used to be what it is now. It was very much different before, but now it's a very well-to-do business, I guess, for me. And yeah, sign up. It's really fun. And we got our mobile app coming out, and like I keep saying a month, but it always gets pushed back a month. So I'm gonna say a month again, but it's probably gonna end up being 2. So.
Yeah, well, we'll link to CGN regardless, because we always do for our sponsors. And
it's the big logo right there on the screen, on the right-hand side of the screen. That big fucking logo. That's CGN.
The one that looks like a controller type thing. Yeah. So, but yeah.
Oh, chat bubble controller makes kind of sense, for
yeah.
So tonight, this has been bothering me a lot, especially since I get myself shadow banned on a constant basis on Twitter. And I've noticed what it's done to mine. I wanted to.
You think that's real, shadow banning?
Yes.
Oh, you do? You really think it's real?
I know it's real.
He gets emails.
It's been proven a number of times already by like credible sources and some non-credible sources.
Well, I'm about as credible as you can get when I'm currently under a shadow ban on Twitter. Like right now, I'm currently, because I called somebody last night a transphobe, and
I mean, I found you within.
Well, yeah, because you follow. Yeah, anybody that doesn't follow me doesn't see it.
Oh.
So it has to be interaction. So you retweeting me, other people can see me. But if you don't retweet me, that it's not seen. So it is, shadow ban is actually a thing, and I've caught 4 in the last 6 days. So, and it's simply, well, I look, you know me, Z, you know I'm not going to hold back, especially when I think somebody's being a hateful prick.
Yeah.
And I do not regret it in anything. So
yeah. How many times have you been shadow banned for calling someone a hateful son of a bitch?
I was shadow banned in July 19 times for calling somebody racist.
Ooh.
Because they were being racist.
Or somebody told me that they were going to rape me, and I told them to shut the fuck up and try it. I got shadow banned. They did not. Because I told them to shut the fuck up. And I'm being 100% truthful. It's fucking insane. Because they always drop part of my shadow bans, especially when I at Twitter support, at Twitter safety, at Jack, and at Twitter. I will go off on them because I don't care. You're going to ban my account? I can make another. Ta-da!
Yeah, you can make another.
And nobody can be like, Rev, you lose your followers. I just dropped, Z knows, Wooly knows, I dropped a 4,000 follower account.
Yeah, you did.
Uh-oh. Rev, you there?
Wooly, let me know when we're ready.
Yeah, I'm still recording, so we should be
okay. So yeah, shadow bans are real. I can feel them. I felt them myself. So let's get into the conversation. The conversation I wanted to start with tonight is, other than me, because you, Z-Heck, and Wooly have already seen it with me. Have you seen social media, be it Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, CGN, anything? Seen somebody fall apart because of social media or get gassed up because of social media? So basically the good or the bad. Have you seen it personally to where it's affected somebody super or really bad?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
but I mean, you're talking about somebody who runs a social media platform. So I've seen everything, I mean, if you want horror stories, that's all I can give you, really, because those are the only things that stick out in my mind anymore.
Whatever you would like to discuss.
I mean, when it comes to social media, I've seen people completely lose their minds over just the littlest of things. I mean, just take, for example, yesterday someone submitted a video and one guy responded that he didn't like the video. And the guy lost his shit over it. That, oh my gosh, somebody didn't like the video, because he wasn't really getting any form of criticism. So he's losing it. And sometimes I wonder if that's in part my fault, that I've done something wrong to make people feel, because this doesn't happen on other social media platforms. If somebody gets mad at you on CGN, it's like the whole fucking world has fallen apart, But if somebody gets mad at you on Twitter, it doesn't mean anything, Or it does, like you can get angry, but the next day you don't really care about it. While it seems like on CGN, when there's any drama that goes down, it really affects them bad. And I don't know if there's so much, like intertwined in CGN, like your whole stream, your channel, everything is just encapsulated into one spot, or if it's just maybe they're putting too high of a, I don't know. I've thought about this one a lot, and I try to get answers, but there's not really a good answer for it.
Well, I think I may actually have an answer for you that will maybe help you some. I think the expectations on CGN is a microcosm of what happens on Twitter and Twitch, because Twitch is a social media too. And what I mean by that is, if you see somebody, we'll discuss why I left the Discord earlier this year. They saw that I was highlighted on your podcast, and you tweet me out a lot, and you show a lot of love to me. There were people that was in CGN at that time that took that as you didn't give a fuck about them, and myself and Fox and a few others were the only ones getting any attention and love from the upper staff, the people that run the site. And
But I'm the only one around the site.
I think honestly, there's a lot of people in CGN that does not fucking understand that.
Oh, they don't. No. 95% of them
So-
don't know that. I mean, I'm responding to messages as we speak
Yeah.
where they're like, "Hey, can you and the team fix this for me?" And I'm, yeah, sure, I'll get it for you.
So like Ica Cake. Like,
yeah, Ica Cake.
Ica Cake. He amazing. I love the dude. But the issue is people think he's staff because of how well he handles his business with you and on Twitter.
Oh,
And
yeah.
So when
a lot of people think, I mean, I made him a moderator on the website. That way he could moderate things for me because he said he wanted to. And, you know, I guess I could consider him volunteer staff for sure.
Well, that's what I mean. When they saw him and you and the website and the channel and the Twitters, all of the Twitters that you have, and all of that, when because it came to my private DMs and I didn't share them with you because I'm a grown ass man and I can usually deal with them. But it became overwhelming where I was being told that I must suck your dick. Seriously, I was told that I must suck your dick because I got promotion and I got this and I got that. You know, I got these fucking stupid ass comments, and it was when I'm already having mental issues because of Twitch, huge mental issues because of Twitch, and even bigger because of friends on Twitter. It was just like, okay, I have to get the fuck out of here. Not because I don't love you to death and him and Foxbox and some of the other people in it. It's I'm literally going to either do one of two things. I'm going to snap so hard that Z-Heck loses respect for me and kicks me out, or I'm going to hurt myself because it was just constant all the fucking time. Constant. Oh, you must suck their dick. I see that you got tweeted again. Da 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 da. I'm just like, dude, I don't fucking control shit. You know why I get? I read their shit.
The reason I tweeted about you was because you were on the homepage. You know. That's what it boiled down to. Everyone always wonders that. They're like, why does CGN talk about you? Well, because he uses it. That's probably numero uno, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if you go look at our social media, like what I do outside of CGN, I tweet like every hour. And I've been on that grind for like 4 years, you know? And every hour I share another person. Like I'm constantly going above and beyond what people are willing to do. And they're always like, yeah, you must be, sucking someone's dick, in order. And it's like, I don't know what more I can offer.
That's why it was kind of fitting that you were down to do this, because it's like, there was a reason why I did what I did, and it was no slight on the site or all the hard work that you've done for me. It was, if I didn't get away, something bad was going to happen.
Oh, well, yeah. No, I don't think anything bad's ever going to happen. I mean, I've seen people get mad at other members before and block them, but that's just not enough, you know?
I would like to agree with you, but I've had recently I lost a friend that I've known for over a decade because he just couldn't chill the fuck out. And I finally reacted. And when I reacted, it was not what anybody, including Wooly and others, expected, because I'm a loud, braggadocious, fuckhead Cajun, but at the same time, I have a lot of Native American. I'm Native American, so when I explode, it's bad. It's over fucking whelming. And I kind of snapped, and it ended a 10-year friendship because it was like, you know what? Go fuck yourself. I'm done. I'm done with playing your bullshit games. I'm done with being told that I suck and that I don't belong and this, that, and the other thing. Fuck you. Fuck everything you stand for. Fuck your mother. Fuck your sister. Fuck your daughter. Fuck everybody, because I don't give a shit about you anymore. And I didn't want it to come to that with you because you didn't know it was happening.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's where
I don't care.
Yeah.
I never worry about that kind of stuff. People, I like when people just kind of confide in me their issues, and they'll be like, listen, this is what's going on right now, and it's making me angry. And I'll be like, all right, it's okay. We'll take care of it. There's usually nothing I can ever do to take care of it, but just the fact that I care is enough.
Critical, you are brand new to all of this. Like to all of us. So you tell me, have you, had seen those issues, and what do you think could have been done differently from it?
Well, I've seen many issues like this. I mean, I've been on a number of Discord servers where I've been banned, and that's some of it's been me maybe going a little too far with the whole, like, mods should have a little respect for the people that they are, or for their own rules and all that sort of thing. And I mean, if we're talking social media in general, I think one of the big things is how, like, these social media platforms don't allow for actual free speech, and you end up holding people back from what from basically whatever they would want to say.
Can I interrupt?
Yeah.
As someone who runs a social media platform, I think the biggest problem that we have right now is that you're right. Free speech is definitely something everybody wants to give, but we're not allowed to do that. And I'm not meaning like the company is like, we're kind of held accountable by these large companies that accept our payments. So, for example, I've had PayPal reach out about content that's posted on CGN, and they say, if you don't take it down, we won't allow you to accept payments anymore.
But
And then,
that's a big problem. That's not just happening to the little guys. That's happening to
the
big guys. I mean, you look at the Jordan Peterson situation, and even Dave Rubin and all that kind of stuff. I mean, that's been hopping up on the mainstream YouTube stuff for a while now.
Right. Yeah, and that gets really bad. I don't try to censor anybody's content, but I've definitely had to delete content just because it's been reported. And then what happens is that you've got PayPal. Usually what ends up happening is that it's Stripe or PayPal or one of these payment processors, or MasterCard. MasterCard's really bad about this.
Oh yeah, it's terrible.
And they'll reach out and they'll say, listen, if you don't take it down, we'll stop accepting payments. And the problem is,
do you understand, both of you, do you understand where that comes from?
It's because they have all the control. That's what happens.
That's not why. That's not why at all. As somebody that has been heavily, and I do mean probably more than some of the big name streamers, I've been heavily sponsored and heavily partnered with and heavily given gift after gift after gift and stuff for what I do on the internet with Rise Up Gaming. I can tell you now, literally none of it would become an issue if it wasn't for some tiny, salty, pussy ass motherfucker snitching.
Well, yeah, I mean, but at the same time, it does come down to somebody wanting to push their own agenda. Now, because they own said company or said sponsor or whatever,
right?
They do hold a number of cards against you as somebody they're sponsoring or some, but like one way or another, it comes down to the almighty dollar.
But my point is because it's literally happened. He's running a D&D session, or I could actually show you proof. I had a guy go to one of my old sponsors for Minecraft servers, my website, everything like that, and tell him that I was racist and homophobic. Mm-hmm. And it never, Critical, I don't know if you know about Rise Up Gaming, but Z, Wooly, GMP, you all know Rise Up Gaming was created for equality on the internet. No racism, no sexism, no bigotry, no hate speech. Period. End of fucking story. So accusing me of it was absolutely fucking ridiculous. But he went to them, and David, that was the owner of the site's name, was pissed. And he was like, I'm going to pull this partnership. I'm going to do this. And I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, let's talk for a second. And I actually sat down with him and I said, you're fucking crazy. And I'm not going to pull no punches with you, because just because you host my site and you give me a Minecraft server don't mean I have to respect somebody that's listening to a complete fucking vilified idiot. Because that's where it's at. Every fucking one of these, everything's, I'll guarantee you that somebody went to PayPal and said, this content's on CGN and you need to do something.
Oh, no, they did. I mean, PayPal told me. I mean, they give you a link to directly what content they don't want on there.
Yep.
And what they do is, I mean, I agreed to their terms of service when I signed up
absolutely
for them to accept payments through their service, and I have to agree to that regardless of whether I want to or not. I'm kind of forced by that hand of, like, if you don't do it, then we're not going to allow you to accept payments through PayPal anymore. Yeah. And the problem is that PayPal and Stripe and a lot of these other companies, they're really your only option when it comes to accepting payments online. You could go build your own system for accepting payments online, but do you know what that entails? You have to own a bank, first of all.
More or less. They do have some alternatives popping up. I know there's a lot of people using like Subscribestar and everything. But anyway, past that sort of thing. I mean, going back to the whole like just mental health and social media. A big problem with social media is that you're talking to somebody who has no accountability. You're talking to somebody behind a computer screen.
Right.
I think the best thing people can really do in a lot of situations is just realize that this is a person on the other end of the world or something like that, and they can't really do anything to you past maybe reporting your content. And at that point, it becomes an issue with how douchey the fucking authorities are going to be, right? With whatever is being reported, or if they're actually going to like take a look and see if it's actually something worth looking into.
Which is basically what they do with all my shadow bans. I get reported, they shadow ban me, and then they look at my content and they're like, okay, so yeah, you probably could have worded this better, but I don't see how you're being harassing when just by calling somebody as racist that literally just spam the N word at you.
Yeah. But you're lucky you got the easy way out. I mean, I got piled on by who knows how many people every single time I've had a Twitter account, and I just got banned, like no real warning, just instant suspension. And I wasn't doing anything really bad at all. I mean, I quoted a couple of actual scientific facts, but science is an opinion nowadays, right? So
right, yeah.
If you look at everything on the internet as a whole, unless you're probably getting it from maybe a video source of an actual reputable scientist or something like that, possibly Neil deGrasse Tyson, possibly. I don't know if he's reputable or not, because I mean, look at Bill Nye, he pulled the wool over everybody's eyes. Unless you're getting it from like a real reputable source, hopefully on a video or something like that, then you're probably not getting anything reputable anyway. And it's all going to be hearsay, opinion, etc. And people can try and quote like any kind of like website they want, but it's all going to be very biased. Mm-hmm. But it all comes down to everybody having their own opinion. And when somebody says something that they don't, or sees something they don't agree with, they're not like Bob. They're not like Bill. They don't just scroll past it. They're like, you know what? I have to do something about this. This has to be my mission in life. I'm going to report this person into the fucking ground.
And that's and now you just hit both of the keys to bring up the second topic. First one was First Amendment right, and why literally everybody I've ever met uses the First Amendment right wrong. Period. End of fucking story. I've never seen anybody use it right when speaking about it, when typing about it. It's never been used right. That's first off. And second off, do you think, without a shadow of a doubt, that all forms of social media, so from CGN, tiny little CGN, all the way up to big boys, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter?
Small.
Well, compared to those three,
okay.
That's my point.
Relative.
All we're talking relativity.
Right.
So
okay.
From CGN all the way up to Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Do you think that the internet as a whole is worse with the amount of shit that can be spewed on all those sites?
Do I think it's worse that all the stuff can be spewed on the internet?
Yes.
That's a hard question, because in all honesty, I really enjoy the amount of content that I can get for free. Like I can learn anything. And that's really my favorite thing about the internet, was that I've been able to learn and see so much more than I would have been able to do. But at the same time, I can see where there's definitely problems, because you've got the hate mob mentality going on as well. And, somebody can, whistle blow to any type of thing and it'll form a hate mob, because you've got followers of that specific person that will see that content. And it can become an all-out war. I mean, not a physical war, but in some cases could actually become physical. I mean, so I think we have to take it with it's a double-edged sword. It's not going to disappear, but at the same time, it's got its goods and it's got its bads. I don't know if the bad outweighs the good, though. I feel like the good is I would be really hurt if the internet disappeared tomorrow, you know?
Well, no, I don't mean the internet. I meant social
You
media.
mean social media?
Yes.
Oh, no, I'd be way more hurt if social media disappeared tomorrow.
Oh, damn. Wooly?
Well, I mean, it's kind of it is a bit of a double-edged sword in terms of just like what can be posted on these social media sites, because I could say anything right now on Twitter or on Facebook, and you know, like I don't necessarily have to have facts behind it. I could
you don't.
I can find someone who's going to believe that shit. I mean,
It's true, yeah.
And if it's somewhere, it's like, hey, this person did this to me. What do I do about it or whatever? It could easily just send a mob over to people.
Oh yeah.
Like, and I'm mainly from the YouTube sphere, and I consider YouTube social media as well.
Oh yeah,
and
I do as well.
And you see this type of shit happen all the time. I mean, James Charles, his situation where
With Toddy, yeah.
That happened more recently in the gaming community. Pro Jared, I don't know how that shit's still going on after 4 months. But
because he released another video that sounded sketchy and silly as fuck. That's why it's still going on.
Yeah, but
that's why.
But it's like anytime that drama happens on YouTube of any sort, like you just hear about it constantly. And from every angle. You go away from YouTube, go to Twitter, it's on Twitter. Go to Facebook, it might be on Facebook. Instagram, it's probably on Instagram. And it's just, it's like a bomb goes off when shit like that happens.
Well, social media is cat pictures, porn, or drama. You pick one.
Yeah, I mean, it's not my timeline, but I can see how that's most of people's timelines for sure.
I don't get cat pictures. I get the other two. Damn it!
I don't get any of that. I just get a bunch of Twitch links and Mixer links and YouTube videos. That's it.
Well, Critical, what do you think?
All right. Well, my thought is, I think the internet was a lot better back in the early, I'd say, 2010 and in between 2010. Before social media really took off as more of a wild west of the internet and that sort of thing. Around those times, nobody really cared about what was going on the internet. There weren't hate mobs going on all over the place. If there were, it wasn't as big as it is now. But having the freedom that was there at the time, we didn't have these kinds of issues that we're seeing today.
No, for sure.
I kind of prefer that. And if you look at, I'm going to use Twitch as a really good example because I'm really pissed off at Twitch. But Twitch is a really good example about how the evolution of the internet has just brought more censorship and hence made things actually probably worse for the regular users. With how you're looking at, they're censoring a bunch of different types of speech. Even if you have your chat room set up so that it's like 18 up speech and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
They'll still come after you if you report it at all. It doesn't matter what it's for. If you get reported right now, like you as a caster are completely responsible for everything in that chat.
Right. Yeah, which I find a bit ridiculous because you can't control what other people say.
Exactly. And no, Twitch is completely ridiculous. And if you look at the Twitch Thoughts situation where there's verifiable proof out there that the female streamers that like to, show off their assets, they get off with a slap on the wrist while other people get, the yearly bans or that is a perma ban technically. But
yeah.
Like for something similar or less, people have been permabanned because they aren't shaking what they got on screen. Now, why Twitch became Chatterbait is beyond me. I just don't know. I've been here through the whole evolution of it. But it does come down to the almighty dollar, because that stuff's making them more money than games, which is it's just sad, because now there's no real sites for just games. Even if you go look at Mixer's TOS, they're about the same thing. And but this is the whole of the internet, though, because even Twitter and all that kind of stuff, they weren't like this a number of years back. It only started happening within the last 10 years.
Well, it started happening when people could start making money. When people found out they could, when people found out they could start making money from the content, then you get the people who are only here for the money, and then that changes your dynamic really quickly. Because
what I'm weirded out about is, how are they making money? Like they're not making money off of the censorship movement. They aren't making money off of people who are outraged.
They are.
They're protecting their...
Not as much. Not as much as they could be making otherwise.
They're protecting their wallets at this point, because, advertisers, they're seeing what they're being reported, stuff they're being reported to. Like, you look at any time there's a YouTube adpocalypse, it's because, Jake Paul, shows a dead body in a vlog, or PewDiePie gets accused by the Wall Street Journal of being a Nazi, when, I mean, really there's not. And then every time there's some sort of drama or some sort of incident, people go to the advertisers like, oh, hey, Kellogg's, did you know your ad appeared on this video from the KKK or whatever?
Right. And
that's whenever the advertisers start to pull back and force the social media's hands into, straightening their sites out.
Well, okay. So I wanted to hear y'all out, because I unfortunately get to be the opposite of you guys. And not the opposite, but there's a caveat to what I have to say.
Okay.
I think the internet, and I want everybody that's listening and the people that's in the call right now to remember that I've been literally bullied off of 2 accounts. And I do mean the word bully, because bully means you're being fucked with on a constant basis by the same group of people, causing you to have mental distress. That is the definition of fucking bully. That's what happened to me. I lost 2 massive accounts. I've quit Twitch 2 or 3 times. I've had this shit happen to me. I still believe to this day the internet's better now than it's ever been. But
no, I think that as well, though.
But I would much rather know that Critical Anger, and this is completely hypothetical, people, so don't fucking say anything that I'm accusing him of it, you fucking douche nozzles. But I'd much rather know that Critical Anger is a transphobic, racist, anti-Semitic fuckhole than him hiding it and doing shit badly in real life. I'd much rather these angsty, and I'll call a spade, white, pasty motherfuckers get on the internet and talk shit than do something in real life. Because I've seen both. I've seen the bad of the bad in real life, and I've seen the bad of the bad in the internet. Can you guess which one affected me mentally more?
I'm going to say the internet. However, one thing about the internet is, and a lot of people need to understand this, is that you can turn off the monitor. You can walk away. You can create a new account. You can do this. You can do that. Now, it may not seem like the easiest thing to do, but it's much easier than somebody in real life coming over to your house and harassing you on a constant basis, or like me, getting followed home and beaten with a baseball bat on a constant basis. The internet is a great place for people to be able to vent. And a lot of people need that outlet. And that kind of comes down to one thing I was going to bring up about the whole mental health thing is, with all the censorship, you're taking away a lot of people's ability to vent. And once they have no place to vent, where are they going to go? What are they going to do?
They go to another place that allows them to vent until that
go
place
to reality.
gets too big.
I have an argument for that.
I just think they go to an alternate, and then that alternate becomes big, and then PayPal and Stripe.
Well, no, I'm talking internet in general, not just. I'm talking like they get cast off. Their major thing on the internet. They have no other place to go. and they'll end up just exploding out in the real world. And I'm pretty sure that's what's happened to with the number of like the mass shootings and everything like that. They lost their ability to vent, and they decided to take it out in the real world because that's the only that was the last
but before
they could
but before social media, people didn't have a place to vent, and the problems that we have now didn't exist.
Well, the venting usually took place as bullying, and that sort of thing, which is why
still exists.
It does. It's in a slightly different form, and really, it's because it's being brought more to the forefront. People are paying more attention to it. When you connect the world, like the internet has connected the world, more things are being paid attention to. They've always been there, but now there's more people paying attention to it. When I was in school, I got bullied tons of times, and I when I got beaten to a pulp, I was the one that got suspended a lot of the times. Like bullying back in my day was terrible. It like really, really terrible. These days, I hear about some of the incidents of bullying, and the actual physical ones are usually few and far between.
Oh yeah, no, they're cracked down.
They're not really doing anything about it. There are social justice warriors, and I hate constantly calling them that, but I have no real other thing to call them. They're out there saying that, oh, we're going to get the school to put up this stop bullying campaign and da 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 da. It's not doing anything. It's been proven that there's the only way to stop bullying is for teachers to maybe do their jobs, but teachers aren't paid enough or equipped enough to actually stop a lot of this. In fact, there are teachers actually being the victims of some of the bullying at this point, and they can't do anything because, well, I mean, what are you going to do to the kids?
You're not going to do anything. Especially,
exactly.
I mean, what? How many times did a substitute teacher come in and the entire class just make fun of them for the entire period?
Well, yeah. Well, it's not just that. I mean, right now, substitute teachers and other teachers are getting beaten.
Well, okay, hold on. I do have a responses to everything you just said. First off, is bullying worse now than it was then? Fuck no.
I don't think so.
Not even fucking close. Because I was not a bully, but I was the hunter. I was the one that if I saw you mistreating a nerd or a smaller framed kid, or I saw you mistreating a woman, I fucked people up. I'm not going to sit here and placate nothing. What I'm saying is, mentally, the internet is so much worse for the human brain. The social media is so much worse because you use the thing, and it's and nothing personal towards you, Critical. It's just my feelings. Anybody that says you can just turn the monitor off or start over is playing to the strengths of the bullies instead of helping the people that need our help. Because at the end of the fucking day, you can't just turn off the fucking internet. You can't, because almost everything worldwide is now intermingled with the internet, period. And not just social media. You could take social media away and I would not fucking shed one damn tear. But everything else is intermingled. There's healthcare systems involved. There's banking. Everything is intermingled on the internet. You can't just walk away from the fucking internet. And starting over lets them win, period. And when are we going to get to the point, at any point in time in the history of the world, where we say, fucking enough. This is fucking enough. There's enough of this bullshit to where it justifies me saying, no, you're not going to run me off the internet. Go fuck yourself. That's what this account that I'm on now on Twitter is about. There is nobody, and I fucking mean nobody on God's green earth that can come on my Twitter and make me think, fuck, maybe I should just take a couple of days off on Twitter. Maybe I should take a couple of days off. Maybe I should start over again. Because I lost everything. I lost fucking everything by having to change my fucking Twitter. And I feel stupid because I let it get to that. I am 6'6", 325 pounds. There's not a motherfucking person that will listen to this podcast that will show up at my door and do what they did to you, Critical. And it's not because I'm big. It's because I'm fucking insane. And if you show up at my door, one of two things are going to happen. You're going to walk away missing body parts, or you're going to be carried away.
In a body bag.
In a body bag, period. There is no fucking happy medium there. So at the end of the fucking day, people like me, have to stand up for people, and I'll call a spade, like Wooly. Because if somebody comes on Wooly's timeline or somebody starts harassing Wooly, I'm the first person he comes to because he knows that we're needed. So my issue with social media is we have people like me that gets overlooked by this, and this is where I become controversial. The Me Too and the cancel culture bullshit happens to where there's people that legit need help are being legitly fucking abused, and it's being overran by people that make shit up.
Well, yeah, the people that are making stuff up, they are hurting the actual victims. There's no doubt about that.
But you do understand, no matter how much they hurt the actual victims, I'm still there for the victims, right? I'm not telling. I'm not.
That's fine.
Here's my thing.
Hold on. I'm not telling the victims they have to stop. I'm not telling the victims they can't be hurt. I'm not telling the victims they can't do this. I'm saying I'm here for fucking you. No matter what that idiot just said that is not true, I'm still sitting right fucking here. And that's the issue. There's less people like me and more people, unfortunately, critical, just because you said it, like you. Just turn off the internet. That's not how this works.
But you can, depending upon what your job is. Like, I mean, I can't turn off the internet because that's my whole life. I wouldn't make money. I wouldn't be able to feed myself tomorrow if I didn't have my internet. But, I mean, then again, I can walk away from it, you know? I mean, I don't get bullied. I get bullied in a very different sense, in the fact that people, you know, just they don't like the business. You know, they'll be like, I don't like the business, so let me send you a hateful email. I don't even read them. You know,
yeah, that comes down to opinion, right? Everybody's got an opinion on the internet, everybody wants their opinion to be heard.
Do you have a job? Do you have a job license? Do you have a license? Are you a licensed anything other than the internet?
Yeah, I have a license. You mean like business license?
No, I meant like carpentry, running a business license.
No, I run CGN. That's it.
But what I mean is, do you have a license that can be noticed, like carpentry, like a real life job?
No, this is my job.
Okay, my point is, do you have a college education with a degree?
Yes.
Okay, and what is it in?
Computer science and fine arts.
So
I have one in computer science and another one is in arts.
My point of asking these questions is, if you don't have those two things, you can't just walk away from the fucking internet, because it's where you can make money with no fucking background.
Well, yeah, I can't walk away from it because that's my entire life.
Hang on. I didn't mean step away from the internet, like the full internet. I meant step away from the social media. Step away from the actual thing that's causing you so much distress.
And now, I agree with you. Now,
one second. Go ahead. Every social media platform has a block button and all that kind of stuff. So if there is somebody that's bullying you, one thing you can do, and I've been told this a lot in my life, and you know what, I have to agree. And yeah, it takes a lot of willpower to do this, but it takes a lot of willpower to go. To see a hateful message or something like that, ignore it and hit block.
Okay.
It takes a lot of willpower because you want to strike back. You want to do the whole song and dance, and you don't want the person to get away with it. The thing about the internet is, most of the time, you don't have any recourse in that. You can report and all that kind of stuff. And you know what? If somebody sends you a message like that and you report it without retaliation, that can usually give you a good out. Okay. But a lot of people don't want to do that. They want to get revenge. They want to feel like the other person is getting what's coming to them. It takes a lot of willpower to try and be, quote unquote, the bigger man, woman, whatever.
Can you agree? Can you agree though that sometimes that shit doesn't work?
No,
very rare case. I would say very rare cases, because usually when you hit a block button and that sort of thing, it ends.
Okay.
Now, if somebody really wants to fucking fuck with you, I mean, they can create another account and come back.
Well, no,
then you do the song and dance again.
I have something better for you on that. Okay, so I just told you that nobody would have balls enough to show up at my door and announce themselves, correct?
Well, nobody. Well, if they're on the internet, chances are they're not going to do that unless you happen to get really political and piss off Antifa.
Well,
and then they got to drive.
The thing,
it's a long drive.
We have an unintentional guest. GMT 2001 is one of my best friends. He's the web host. He creates and does stuff for my web, for my internet, and everything like that. He can tell you without a shadow of a doubt that's absolutely bullshit, Critical. 1,000, nope, 1,000,000%. He can tell you himself that's absolutely bullshit. Because
which part?
That just because you block somebody means it's over.
Well, no, I said if somebody really wants to start
over.
If somebody really wants to keep going with you, they will find a way. It's much like if somebody wants to break into your house, they're going to do it. If somebody wants to hack you, they're going to do it.
That's what I wanted to point out. See, I got DDoSed every day for 3 years. Every day.
And see, that falls under harassment. Well, but you have the problem with that is you have to be able to prove who it is.
Well, that's happened. But see, what happened is I finally listened to people telling me, Rev, you can just block it. You can end it by just not responding. Stop reacting. Stop doing all this stuff that you're saying now. I stopped. And you know what happened then? They came to my house and they broke my AC unit where I did not have an AC in the middle of fucking Texas for 3 years. They also tampered not with one car, but two. One that we had to replace. The second one, I was driving and the steering column came the fuck out. That's their response to me doing what everybody fucking told me to do. Just block them. Just ignore them. Just move on. Don't react. I stopped doing all of that online.
Well, then you just contact the police.
Well, I did, but that doesn't change a fucking thing. It's a fallacy to say that that's what's going to work when I can name 4 or 5 people and bring them in now if they're not busy, and they could tell you the same thing. They blocked, they ignored, they did not react, they got punished in real life for it.
Well, here's my question. How did they get a hold of your information?
I was DDoSed every day for 3 years.
I mean, my information is publicly available because I own a business. The government gives that out willingly.
I own. Well, at the time, I owned 2 businesses. I own none now. but the fact of the matter is that they were actually.
So I never worry about people coming to the house because if they do, they can just show up. I'm not worried about it.
If they show up and they actually announce themselves, it's a whole different story than going into my driveway.
You think so, though? I've had people pull up and say things and kind of get angry before, but I mean, in my mind, I just kind of be like, you can leave. I don't have to come out. I don't have to talk to you.
Well, it won't happen with me because the only time it's ever happened, I was a admin for Yahoo Pool, and somebody got banned, and he thought, well, I'm going to show up at Rev's house because I was a business owner. They have that information. They showed up at my house, and you saw him walking down my driveway looking all tough. As soon as I opened the door, I got the wrong address. I knew it was him. The minute I fucking saw him pull in my driveway, I knew it was him. But as soon as he saw me, he backed the fuck up. Because,
but I mean, then it becomes, once again, it becomes a criminal matter at that point. It's no longer on Twitter. It's off social media.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's when somebody takes it too far. Now, incidents like that, there's still very few and far between.
For sure.
But I'm not saying that it doesn't happen. And DDoSing is a little different from doxing. So, I mean, if you've been doxed, that's a different story. And that's how they would find your stuff.
Yeah, they doxed me first.
Okay. Yeah. And see, these are things that are actual laws that are being broken. Now, again, being the bigger man is still a better option than running yourself ragged mentally on the internet. Now, if they decide to go and commit a crime against you, you have no idea if they're going to do that or not. And just because you decide to ignore them doesn't mean you provoke them into it. These are people that were unstable to begin with. They could have come over to your house anyway. It really doesn't matter. It has nothing to do with you ignoring them or you just saving yourself all the pressure. Now, if somebody did come to your house or something like that, again, this becomes a criminal act. Right. Doxing itself is a criminal act.
Well, but the thing you got to remember is when this shit was originally happening, you can say criminal act until you're blue in the face. But if the police and let's just use Casey Tron, you know who it is because you said you've been around Twitch for a long time. Casey Tron may be problematic, but she doesn't deserve to be swatted.
No, nobody deserves to be swatted.
No, but that's illegal. I mean, you can't do it.
Yes.
Listen to me. Nothing was done to the person that swatted. That means just because it's illegal doesn't mean it doesn't happen.
Here's the reason, okay? And I understand it shouldn't be like this, and you kind of have to be proactive because once you know your information is out there, things fucking happen. So, the first thing I did was that we moved. The second, I created the business. I moved to a house outside of the city. That way people couldn't send pizzas to my home, because that's the first thing they want to do. They want to send pizzas to your house and force you to pay for them.
Fuck you up financially.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I moved outside where they couldn't send pizzas to my home anymore. Then, I made sure that I contacted my local police and said, hey, this scenario might come up at some point. I know you're going to laugh it off and you're going to say, hey, this is just probably a big joke. But in reality, this is a real situation that could possibly happen. And if it does, I'm going to let you know, I'm going to hold you all accountable. You don't hold the people accountable that did it. I mean, you can hold them accountable for sure because they did do it. But you have to look at the police, because if you're swatted, the police come in and raid you. Well, if the police had no credible evidence to come in and raid you, that's their fucking fault, not yours. You should be blaming. No, you should totally go after your local police, and it's not hard to sue your local police for a scenario where they raid your home on the instance that they were given bad information from an uncredible source. You'll easily win. They'll settle. They'll settle straight away.
After the fact, yes.
But here's the thing, and I just have to talk from personal experience. I don't have to talk about anybody else. The issue is I did exactly what you said, Critical. I called the cops. I told them, look, I'm being accused of taking away First Amendment rights, because I was one of the first people to ever be accused of that, because I refused to let certain words be used in my presence or on my Twitch channel or on my website. So I was heavily beat down for the first 7 months of Rise Up Gaming, 2012, 2013, because I was taking away First Amendment rights. So I called them and I told them this and this and this and this, and this is who I am. Come talk to me. They came and talked to me. They saw who I was as a human being. They realized I'm a large, angry person, but I'm actually a kind person, so they're not going to really worry about it. So I've never been swatted, thank God, knock on wood. But the same police has been called on me 3 times just for leaving my house.
Just what do you mean for leaving your house?
So the last time I was out my front door, the water company, the city was here to let me know that the grass in my front yard was too high for the area that we live in.
Do you have like a homeowners association?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So I was out there talking to this tiny little Hispanic woman about our yard. Me and her were having no, it was the actual city.
Oh, okay.
So me and her were having a great conversation. She was asking me what I do and and all of a sudden 3 cops cars pulls up. What the fuck? Right. And the lady next door called the cops on me because of my size. She thought I was intimidating and scaring the little woman.
Oh, well,
so the cops that was told that there's this issue, and they know that there's this issue, still showed up to give me an issue. That's my point. They were told all of this. Look at my size. You're going to get the cops called on me. 3 weeks later, after the original thing, I was outside looking for my dog, and people in the neighborhood called the cops, and they just drove by, and they're like, hey, somebody called the cops on you. Everything okay? And I'm like, yeah. And just looking for my dog. He's like, yeah, I thought it was silly, but whatever. And they drove off. That was the entire conversation. But pulling cops on me.
That sounds like a terrible neighbor. That seems like
that is a terrible neighbor.
Yeah, that just seems like a bad neighbor that you should maybe try and talk to, or maybe not talk to, maybe get legal.
Well, if it gets too serious, I mean, I'd be looking at a legal option. I'd be talking to a lawyer
for sure. But see, like if a neighbor starts calling the police on you and having them sent over to your house, especially if they're false flags, like how many times do they have to false flag and these people come out to your home before you can?
Be enough.
Well, yeah, 3 times would definitely be enough that you probably have a case. If they did that,
Here's the last thing I want to say, and then we can move on to the next topic. I was raised a little different than you guys. I can tell that because you have trust and faith in the government. Maybe not. Wrong.
No, I have no faith in the trust in the government.
To me,
I don't trust them. That's why I'm saying you get what is good for you.
Okay,
I work with what I got.
Yeah, exactly.
To me, the police officers of the United States is part of our government. And
well, they're part of your state government, or they're part of your local government.
I was raised in New Orleans. I watched brothers and sisters go to jail for no fucking reasons. And I can tell you that I don't trust to tell a cop anything, not because he's not going to do anything. It's because he's not going to do anything. Because it's happened to me my entire life. So when I go to people and I walk into a police station, and I just want you to imagine you two being the cop that I'm walking into the police station. I walk into the police station, 6'6", covered in tattoos, beard, long fucking hair, look like a goddamn biker. That's what I look like. I come under you and I tell you I'm being harassed online. Are you going to?
Well, yeah, but if you tell me you're being harassed online, I'm going to be like, what am I, the police officer, going to do about your harassment online?
That's my point.
Well, that's the thing. The police can't do it. That's why you have to rely on what you have. So on social media, you have the ability to block. You have the ability to report. You have the ability to report. You have the ability to just ignore things as they come at you and move on. There's a number of different ways to manage and cope with things that people say and do on the internet. Now, I sympathize with your position.
Just hold on. I understand what you're saying, but you got to let me finish the statement.
Okay.
Because we've all agreed that de-doxing is against the law.
Doxing.
You can go to doxing. Doxing is against the law.
Well, DDoSing technically a little.
DDoSing is illegal too.
It is. Yes.
Especially in the state of Texas. You cannot do it. If I come in and tell you, you're going to look at me, and I don't give a damn how you want to play it or placate it or gaslight it. If I, at my size and who I am and my stature, tell you I'm being harassed online because people are giving out my address and sending me pizzas and doing these things.
Okay, but you can't say it, I'm being harassed online. If you come in and say I'm being harassed online.
How do you DDoS somebody
because
online? But
here's the thing. You're saying I'm being harassed online. You're making it seem like it's not a public problem. And it is this is no longer on the internet. This is an issue that's affecting you personally. You should be coming in and saying somebody is harassing me, not harassing me online, but someone is harassing me, and you explain in full detail everything that's going on. And I bet you they'll do something about it. If they don't do something about it, then my response would be then you talk to the person above them and make sure they do something about it.
My point is, and then we can get on, I've done everything that y'all said and nothing was done. And that's why the Twitter thing last year, Z-Heck, that's why the Twitter thing actually finally happened, to where I was just like, I'm going to use the same name, I'm going to do all these same things, but I'm just fucking done with this dumb shit.
Yeah. I mean, if you exhaust all your possibilities and you don't have anything left to turn to, then you're in a spot where you really can't do any more.
Yeah.
I mean, I had an issue,
but that's a lot.
Like I said, when I lived in town, I had an issue very similar to this.
Yes.
Where I did everything I could to try and get people to stop, to stop doing what they were doing. I mean, and in some instance, I got a little bit of resolve, but I had to consistently keep going in and telling them what was going on. And then, I'd get some help for about a week to 2 weeks, but then a month later, it would just start back up again. New guys get funneled in, they get shuffled out. People don't know the situation. That this kind of stuff happens because after 6 months, nobody even knows your story anymore. They've already forgot about it. So you're having to constantly go back in there. That's why me personally, we just moved, we just kind of moved further out. And the whole reason, there's multiple reasons why we move further out. One, it's cheaper. It's a lot cheaper to live further out than it is to live in a city.
Yep.
And second, I don't have to deal with what goes on in the city. If somebody wants to harass you and they want to consistently keep showing up, I don't have to worry about that much anymore. They can't send pizzas to my home because I live too far out and the stores aren't coming to me. They can't, they're not gonna, I'm not worried about that kind of stuff. If I get swatted, which heaven forbid, it hasn't happened, but if I ever did, I'm prepared for that. I've already forewarned the police.
And that's the biggest thing you want to do is forewarn the police.
Right.
Even if the police don't really like have a handle on cybercrime and that sort of thing.
For sure.
If they have any kind of documentation on it, it's something, and they should be able to look at your, like, it'll come up when they get an alert.
Exactly.
This may be a false flag.
Right. And here's the thing. If you've already forewarned them before, and then they come and do it, and it turns out to be a false flag, then you're able to look back at them and say, I already told you once before.
Well, it depends on what they do. Like if they come,
Right.
Now it's a little different up here in communist Canada, but
Go ahead. Sorry.
I'm quoting the quartering on that one.
I know.
Shout out to Jeremy, you motherfucker. Anyway, it's a little different up here in Canada, I guess, with the swatting. Now, I know I've seen a lot of places or people in the States have gotten swatted, and they just break right in and knock people down and da 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 da.
Right.
Up here, we recently had a swatting of a family in a small town just outside of my city.
Right.
And the police surrounded the house.
Mm-hmm.
Asked everybody to come out, and then they searched the house, searched the house next door, and then went in and said, sorry, this we didn't find anything, and sorry, we got this call, and da 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 da. Now, people are all going nuts about the police handling that in a terrible fashion, and I'm like,
right,
no,
I feel
that
like
sounds
very
right.
well.
Yeah, that sounds like a very good way of handling it.
Yeah.
As opposed to things I've seen, so the swatting I've seen in the States where they break down the door, they knock the person down, hold a gun actually on their head, or even completely injure the person over a completely false thing.
Or what I'm
exactly.
What
See,
I'm
that's the real fear, is that they come in and they cause damage to your property. They cause damage to you. If they cause damage to anything that I own, no, we're going to have a problem,
Yeah. The thing nowadays, though, is that the police are getting better at recognizing this. It's a process.
They're learning.
For the longest time, police haven't dealt with this.
No.
It's been one or two incidents, and now it's starting to become a little more of a mainstream thing, because every little fuck that happens to be off of school sometime and gets pissed off at somebody on the internet figures, hey, I can swat this person because somebody put their docs on the internet.
I mean, I don't know if you all have ever dealt with this before, but when I was in school, the big thing that kids loved to do was call bomb threats in on the school.
Yeah,
that way
that's happened.
That way we could get out of school, because if you call a bomb threat in, everybody has to evacuate the school, and we would get the day off.
Nope, not my school. My school went on lockdown.
Oh, well, so wait, you went on lockdown when there was a bomb threat? They want to get you out.
Yes, there was.
Why would they keep you in? You're going to blow up.
I don't know.
I'll hum something and you understand. Okay,
Yes,
but I get, but that no, even that doesn't make sense to me, because like in a case of a bomb threat, you evacuate the school because somebody is claiming there's a bomb in the school and they're going to blow it up. And kids did this, and this was a joke. They would do it as jokes to get us out of school. Like some guy would go find a payphone and call in a bomb threat, and then we would all get out of school. And sometimes we knew about it. We would know the kid was going to go do it.
I'm glad that y'all brought it up, because that's my point of telling you the story about the little lady that works for the city and how they reacted to me. I don't think me, Russell Andrew Grisham, would survive if somebody swatted my house.
You don't think so? Oh, because of how large you are.
Yes, because they would.
Yeah, but here, I don't think they would. I really don't think they would, just because of your size. If you were just sitting at your computer and they walked in the house, they might throw you on the ground because of your size. I mean, let's start there. They're going to. They wouldn't throw me on the ground because I'm 5'5".
Yeah.
They're gonna figure they can keep me back with one hand. But you're a lot larger. They're gonna need a few guys. So they will throw you to the floor. I can almost bet that.
And the only reason I said that is because, like, I have I have 5 children. So if
Oh yeah, and
if
they're
they
going to
break-
think you're hurting the children for sure.
if they SWAT my house and I react in any other way other than just staying completely fucking still, unnatural, I'm gonna get hurt somehow.
Oh yeah,
If
well
not-
I worry
if
about
not
that
more.
as well.
If not
If
more.
I jumped up, if somebody came running into the house,
Yeah.
I sometimes worry that they would. I mean, they're coming in with guns loaded.
Yeah.
That's the scary thought.
Yeah.
Is that they're coming in with guns loaded. Not every situation, because sometimes you get swatted and the scenario is that they say they're selling drugs, but they're not coming in guns blazing if you're selling drugs out of your home. They're just going to come to your house and knock on the door. But if you call the police and say, "Hey, I'm the next door neighbor and they are murdering somebody right now. They are in the process. You need to get there with a SWAT team right now." Then they're going to show up riot gear and everything because they're expecting they're going to die.
Let's not give people any ideas.
Well, no, that's what they do.
Yeah,
I mean,
I know
knowledge.
that's what they do. I know. I just gotta say, the only thing you can do in any of those situations is just do what they say,
yeah.
and deal with them afterwards. But do what they say in the moment and just deal with the fallout afterwards. There's really not much you can do about it once they're there. You just let everything happen, and then once everything's done, then you can go off on them and the sue and
since
whatever.
And here's the thing: in many cases, a lot of these guys, these police officers, they don't know what's going on. They have no clue what they're getting into.
They're expecting the worst.
They're expecting the worst.
They have very dangerous jobs, and they have to expect the worst.
They're coming in scared.
Like how they act on it is a different story. Normally, we expect them to be trained, but in all honesty, there's very little training that can prepare you for a lot of stuff they see on a regular basis.
Well, and then of course, you always got the chance that you might get the rookie.
There is always a chance
you might get the rookie.
Yeah.
As far as I
there's
know,
got to be rookies out there.
As far as I know, there haven't been any fatalities from swatting as of yet, except for a dog.
There have been.
Oh.
There might have been. I think there was one. Yeah.
There was the guy.
There might have been one. I haven't heard of every single swatting situation, but I know a dog has been killed. But
yeah, I did know about that.
Yeah, dog went kablooey. But
dogs are people too. Damn it.
Well, basically, more or less.
I mean, I worked at the post office a little bit while I was starting CGN, and I know. I mean, this is sad, but I know more post office workers that killed dogs than
the guy in Wichita in 2017, Andrew Thomas Finch. He was not even the intended target. The guy,
no, he wasn't.
There was a Call of Duty bet wager. The guy got the guy that lost a $2 wager, by the way, critical $2 wager got a human being killed, and that scared me more than anything because they showed pictures of Mr. Finch, and he's quite a large person, and I honestly believe that a bunch of scared ass cops in military gear showed up at his house
to a guy who had no clue that any of this was going to happen, because not only was he not in the know of this might happen to me, he had absolutely no clue because they sent him to the wrong house.
Yep.
So that's a really scary situation.
That terrifies the fuck out of me because of my size and because of the fact that.
But see, here's the thing: that you at least have the information that it could happen to you. This guy might not have known that it could have happened to him.
Oh,
so
he didn't know.
So he's just seeing a bunch of police officers show up, and his first thought is fight or flight. He's like, I'm gonna die in here. So
and when I brought it up before with some other friends, they're like, dude, but the guy that did the swatting got 20 years. How does that make his fucking family better by them getting 20 years?
It doesn't. It doesn't for sure that it doesn't make it better. I mean, it's the same mindset. Like, if you murdered somebody and they get 25 to life, is it better? No. I mean,
no. Somebody gets murdered. That's the end of it. There's no real retribution for it. I mean,
no.
Some people will say like eventually you'll learn forgiveness and that sort of thing if you're like religious or something like that. I mean, it's always going to hurt. There's no way to get to really feel better after something like that happens.
Nope.
I do feel that swatting should be considered potential to commit murder, though.
I think that is actually what they're ruling it as now, is attempted murder. It can be taken as attempted murder.
Right.
But one thing you got to look at right now is even up to like a year, 2 years ago, swatting was still a fairly new thing, and police didn't really have a huge grasp on it. It's gotten mainstream now. People are getting smarter about it, and police are getting a little more involved in stopping this and even charging people now.
Oh yeah,
I mean, like, I did get 20 years, but like to me, that's too little, too late, because somebody's life.
I mean, there's not much you can do about it, but you're in a better place now because they have information on this. They are being a little more or what is it, retroactive?
Yep.
Yeah, retroactive.
Okay, they're paying more attention to it now. So people with the possibility of being swatting, it's getting to a point where it's not exactly worth doing, and we're probably going to see like swatting go down in frequency. It's not going to totally disappear, but also police are going to be a little smarter about it.
Well,
now, like I said, if police show up at your door, there's not much you can do about it. Somebody made the call. You're going to have to just deal with whatever happens from there.
Yeah.
And as far as you being a big guy and everything like that, I can't control any kind of bias that the police might have. I don't know their training or anything like that. All I can say is do what they say until the end and deal with the aftermath. But I'm hoping through all this that they have learned and that they are a little more cautious with some of the calls that they get. That's really all we can do. But at the same time, I personally believe that a good majority of the police are actually still doing their jobs, and they are still a decent force for good for the most part. But I mean, again, in any society, you can't control every single person. You don't know what every single person is thinking. You don't know if they're all going to be like doing their jobs correctly and everything like that. It's a human thing.
Yeah, and the reason this is important because like mental health is everything. It's not just one. Yet, I'm a paranoid schizophrenic. I have bipolar. I have PTSD. But you see what my main concern is, right? Like,
no, I completely see your concern. I see where you're coming from, and I completely understand why you're worried and that sort of thing. What I'm saying is there's a number of things you can't control, and there's a number of things you can control. You got to worry about the things you can control. The things you can't control, you're going to have to go with it. You're going to have to flow like a river, man. That's all I can really say. It's hard to do. Like, I don't even flow like a river right now, and hence why I've been banned off a couple of different Discord servers, because I probably did overstep my bounds just a little trying to defend somebody. At the same time, I got my opinions. Just
this is a healthy conversation because like everything, I strongly believe that people discredit certain aspects because it doesn't affect them.
Do you think they really do? Like, if they sat down and had conversations like this, do you think they actually don't hear the other side? Or do you think it's just the internet doesn't allow you the ability, or not the internet, but let's say social media, like Twitter, Facebook and stuff. It doesn't actually grant you that ability for them to sit down and have a conversation with you like we're doing. So they can only go based off your 1 sentence or 2 sentence response. And for example, let's say I can rant for 30 minutes and it might all be cohesive and make sense. But if you take a 2-minute segment out of that 30 minutes and you just play it, it might sound terrible. And if I tweeted that out, I might have a lot of responses where people would come back and say, hey, this is my rebuttal. And then I'm going to have to respond, yeah, I absolutely agree with you. But I wasn't able to say that. Because
you don't have to respond. That's a big thing.
But
no, you're right. You don't have to either.
And that's the last topic. Do you think that the mental health of people online could be better if people would stop searching for fucking likes?
Well, I don't.
I'll say yes.
That's a good question because Instagram is trying it, right? Instagram is now trying where you're not going to be able to see how many likes you receive on a post. Well, it's not on the forefront, so other people can't see it. You can see it, but nobody else can, right? And that we're going to see how that changes. Because if nobody else can see how many likes you receive on that post, then it comes completely down to the amount, the content itself, is the content actually good? Because a lot of people right now will like something because it has 11,000 likes, right?
Yeah.
Or they might retweet it because it has 400 retweets. But if you can't see any of that stuff, if you can't see the retweets, you can't see the likes, then it's purely based on the content. And since it is if it becomes like that, then you have a scenario where you go, okay, well, since it's purely based on the content, will it get as many likes? Will it get as many retweets? And from what Instagram is doing right now, the tests that they're running with the few people that are part of that, Australia is part of it, and then they've got a bunch of other celebrities and others that are part of it now too. According to Instagram, what information they're bringing out right now, it's detrimentally affecting the people who are doing it for money. So, for example, models are having a really hard time with this because their content is, well, it's just them. There's no actual content. It's just them taking pictures of themselves, and that's really affecting their bottom line, because if they can't show that they have 11,000 likes on this post, then people aren't liking it as much than they were before. And so a lot of these models are getting really upset about it and telling Instagram that this is becoming a real issue for their business, because they run it as a business. They get sponsors, they get ads, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's a numbers game. It's exactly like TV ratings.
Yeah, it's a numbers game. So Instagram is taking the numbers away. They're not taking them away from you, but they're taking them away from the public. And the problem that I think that's really going to change not the demographic, but the way people treat social media. They're not going to be trying to get so many likes anymore. And I think you'll see a lot of these people, like these Instagram models and stuff, or people that run these meme accounts that, basically make all their money off just sharing a bunch of content. I think you'll see them becoming less and less relevant over time. And it'll become a system of where the only people on social media anymore are the ones who are just trying to share their stuff, and they're not worried about how much of a response they get back. I mean, that's what we're seeing with Instagram's test run that they're doing right now. So do I think it would make it better? Yeah, maybe.
That's the question.
Yeah, well, I think it could possibly, but as of right now, all the evidence isn't out yet to say, will it make it better? It could detrimentally affect social media altogether, and then Instagram's not worth anything anymore. So they could kill their business off. So who knows?
Critical?
I would have to say the way it's going to affect everything is monetarily.
Yeah, for sure.
Because monetization is going to run off of popularity, and if you can't publicly see the popularity, then the monetization is going to be a problem. Now, if the popularity is being in the background and that sort of thing, and that's being given to the advertisers and that sort of thing, that's a different story. Then that can be done in the background. However,
right,
if you do take away the popularity numbers from your
the
media
public.
Or the public, when you take it away
Right.
from the public, yes, that will allow the public to have a better way of looking at content they actually like, as opposed to what's trending. It would probably be better for creators overall, like the good creators, the ones that actually put in a lot of effort for actual content, as opposed to people who are, again, Twitch thoughts, Instagram models that just take selfies all day, etc., etc. It would end up being a lot like when the internet first started. You had people who were making incredibly interesting and unique content, some really stupid content. But this stuff was liked because it was creative. It was something that people wanted to see.
And then it was being shared consistently.
And it was being shared, yes.
Right.
Now,
and it's not being oversaturated by other stuff that's being shared.
Exactly. And like if you take away the numbers game, you are left like there's going to be there'll be a point of transition where there's going to be a lot of people losing a lot of money, and there's going to be some people that are probably like the people who are on Patreon or Subscribestar and getting community support that way. They're probably going to see an increase.
Oh, for sure.
You're not going to see an increase, say, from YouTube advertising that, but you'll see an increase from personal users, because they're starting to see the content they want to see, because all the other people that were running off of just advertising and sponsors and everything like that, they're dropping off because they don't have the popularity numbers popping up everywhere, which could be artificially inflated, mind you.
Yeah,
and that's been done tons and tons of times. So by taking that stuff away, I think within a couple of years, maybe even less, you would see a rise in quality content over quantity and artificially inflated trash.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that stuff wouldn't still be there, but I think overall it would be a good way for the internet to have kind of a refresh. That being said, there's probably going to be some downsides to it too. I mean, monetarily to some people, yes, there's going to be some detriment there. But
for sure,
anybody who has a decent channel will probably be just fine, because they'll end up getting people still coming to the site, still looking at ads, still doing this, still doing that. You might not be able to see the popularity numbers. The trending tabs will disappear. Thank God.
Well, I don't think the trending will disappear.
No.
I think the trending will be. Yeah. I think the trending will be algorithmically showcased.
Oh, those fucking algorithms. Oh,
well,
fuck you,
I mean,
Susan.
it's a smart way of doing it. So, for example, you take the numbers away. The numbers aren't gone. The numbers just aren't being shown to me and you.
Yeah.
They're being shown to the advertisers, and they're being shown to the person who created the content.
That is true. The trending tabs could still be there then.
Oh, they will be. Yeah, they won't take that away.
The problem with that is they could severely start influencing the numbers behind the scenes, which
they could
actually
straight
flip
away.
Everything.
Well, and on top of that, I was going to mention this. They could start selling a lot more advertisements than they were before, because as of right now, since you're able to see how many views, how many likes, how many retweets, how many everything, since you're allowed to see that, since the public is allowed to see that information, it grants you that ability to reach out to sponsors and say, hey, I've got this many likes on this post. I got this many views on this video. You should consider sponsoring me. Don't run through YouTube and advertise on my channel. Just sponsor me directly. Well, when that ability is taken away, then YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all these places, they're able to sell ads for your channel. So the only way to get the ads on your channel, other than just reach out to you directly, is for them to go, you got to go through us. And then that just increases their ad sales.
And then you get demonetized on your channel and your videos, and then
exactly. Now you're getting it. It's them taking power away from everyone else, because they can reel that power back in. They gave it.
Yeah.
And they can reel it back in whenever they want.
There's not much you can do against their ridiculous business model and algorithm.
I guess a follow-up question, because it needs to be asked so everybody can hear your opinions. Yeah, they make all these changes. Is humankind gonna fucking change?
No. Humankind's not going to change at all. We're going to continue to murder one another, kill one another, hate one another, treat one another badly till the end of time. It'll never get better.
You're not going to change human nature.
It'll never get better, and I don't really think that it'll. I don't really even want to say that it's going to get much worse either, because when a lot of times we say things are getting worse, and I sometimes wonder if it's not so much that things are getting worse, but that we just have more people. And since
I'm not going to even say more people. I'm not really going to say even more people. I think what we're seeing is, because everybody's so connected by the internet itself,
that we're just seeing it more often.
We're seeing more people reporting on it. We're seeing more of it publicized.
Well, the only reason I say that is because you hear about crime rates going down.
Yeah.
Like the crime rates are going down, but you keep seeing all this stuff and you think, oh gosh, if the crime rates are going down, why am I seeing more things? And I think the reason is that, I think the reason is that the crime rate is going down by percentage, but we just have a lot more people than we used to have. So the crime rate, there was probably, if let's say, I don't, this is probably not anywhere in the ballpark, but let's just say 100,000 murders. And then next year or 20 years down the line, you have 100,000 murders. Well, there's a big difference between 20 years ago's population and today's population. You know, so 100,000 murders out of 600 million people, is not as high as 100,000 murders out of like 6 million people. I mean, that's definitely not the numbers, but I'm just saying there is a big difference there. And so when they say crime rate's going down, well, how? Like, is it the numbers are actually going down, or is it that the percentage is going down?
See, I thought they actually factored in population increase in those too. I mean,
they probably do.
Yeah, normally they do, but I mean, you don't. In a lot of cases, you don't really know like how the study was shown. I mean, you can look it up, but in most cases, people just see the bar graph.
Yeah, they just see the number and they go.
They see the number, they see the bar graph, and they go, "Oh my gosh, look, it went up." It's like one guy tried to. I had a company reach out to me and they wanted us to advertise on their website. And I just thought it was funny because I responded back to them that, it's your price is like $50 more than everybody else. But I could have responded back, and I wanted to because thought it would have been funny. I was going to say, your prices are 11,000% higher than everybody else's. It sounds terrible when you say it that way.
Yeah.
But $50 isn't as bad as saying it's an 11,000% increase,
This kind of goes back to something I said earlier is when you're on the internet and you're looking for facts and everything like that, you can't really trust anything you see because every single website seems to be biased. And I don't know any of the official websites for a lot of these stats or anything like that. I normally leave it to some of these YouTubers that seem to have the actual sites and everything like that.
I think a lot of times you just have to reach out to the government. You have to go through their websites.
But you'll have to do it yourself. You'll have to do it yourself, and you wouldn't want to just go off of the website. You would want to actually call them up and get the information if you can, like any kind of public information you can that way, as opposed to just going off the website because it's such a slippery slope with how the internet is.
Yeah.
But.
It's true. You know how many people go to that TwitterVerified.com website?
Yeah.
I always laugh about that. This is like the top 100 visited website in the world, TwitterVerified.com. It's a fake scam, and it's the top 100. It's in the top 100 most visited websites in the world. Think about that for a minute. A scam is in the top 100. Everyone knows it's a scam.
Yeah, and don't get me started on Snopes. Oh.
Yeah, but at least Snopes is not just a straight up scam. At least
they're not a scam. They're biased.
Yeah,
but they're not a scam.
Okay, and you're right. I mean, you can be biased, and people can be like, well, they're biased, so
it's a scam for one side.
Yeah, but this is just a straight up scam.
Yeah,
like they're just telling you one thing. And it doesn't work. It doesn't make it. Everything's fake. The entire website is fake. And I always laugh about that because I'll hear people be like, I got sponsored. And it's like, why would you accept that? Why would you accept something that you knowingly know is a scam? Nobody's getting verified through these Twitter verified systems. It doesn't make sense. But I always laugh about that because people have done this with CGN. They'll be like, I heard about this website that will help me get partnered. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I own the website and I've never heard of it. So.
Oh, there's so many of those partner scams going around. It's terrible.
Yeah, I know. It's like the Twitter verified.
That's not new. Yeah,
no, it's not new. But the more open the internet gets, the more you're going to see about it.
Well, yeah. That falls back to the more access you have to bullshit, the more bullshit you see.
Well, yeah, that's just the way. Actually, Neil deGrasse Tyson said had something interesting about that. I think he said if you have like a torch of your knowledge or something like that, then it can illuminate more ignorance.
Yep.
Yeah.
The brighter your torch of knowledge, the more ignorance you illuminate.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the more information you put out
I'm butchering Neil deGrasse Tyson, by the way, so you guys can call me.
Well, no, but I
idiot
get
as
the
much as you want
point
there.
because the more you put out there, the more people can show your ignorance as well. Like if you don't say anything, then people don't know what you know. But if you tell everything you know, then people can be like, well, he doesn't know this. So
yeah.
People don't know you're stupid until you open your mouth.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, to be completely honest, there are no stupid questions, and I think a lot of people really need to start asking more questions.
There are stupid questions for sure. I hate saying
they gotta be
that.
pretty damn stupid.
I've gotten a lot of stupid questions. I mean, just dumb. I mean,
I think a lot of people need to ask more questions and question more of the stuff that's
probably a better thing because I get questions that are just dumb, and I'll be like, what does this even mean?
The thing that kills me the most about the internet, though, is people acting like this is new. This is a new issue. No, the government. Here's some facts that you can go to bed to. These are fucking facts. The government has been trying to screw citizens of this country since day fucking one. End of story. People will lie.
We pay taxes, don't we?
People will lie to get what the fuck they want. End of story. And at the end of the day, almost everybody on this earth is self-deprecating. They will hate themselves enough to where they get what they want, and then they will love themselves. Period.
Yeah.
That's human nature. That's not something new. Well, I can't believe the government's so corrupt. Okay.
I can. It's normal people.
Tell black people that the government was not corrupt until 1967.
I just find it odd that a lot of people think it's odd that the government is corrupt. It's like, that these politicians are the people you voted for. You've probably met them. You can go talk to them. Like if you go talk to your congressman and you can be like, this guy's an idiot. And then it's like, oh, wait a second, we voted for this guy. Like,
this is the guy I put in office.
It's like, oh, geez, Louise. Like,
we were talking the other day about the upcoming election, and I was just like, I'm really stoked for this person. And then I found out that this person did something really fucking stupid that makes no damn sense. And I'll just say his name, Bernie Sanders. I was going to vote for Bernie Sanders. And then I found out he made the statement, well, it doesn't make sense for people to keep rebuilding in areas that natural disasters happen. Fuck you. That's home. That's why, bitch. Shut up.
Well,
it's still home.
Here's the thing. No, it doesn't make sense to rebuild in a place of a natural disaster. It doesn't make sense, but you're right. It's home. Why the fuck would you leave?
And when I was telling Wooly about that, because Wooly laughed about it, I told him the situation with Jill Stein. I was going to vote for Jill Stein in 2016.
I remember the situation with her.
Every fucking platform she had, I agreed with. And then I found out that she was anti-vax. And I realized that she was fucking stupid.
A doctor.
I realized that a doctor was fucking stupid.
There are doctors out there that are anti-vax, and I find that really odd. You know what I find really odd though, that in America, because we have a lot of people on CGN from across the pond, obviously, and I talk to them every morning, like Legit Dinosaur and different people.
Yep.
And I talk to these guys, and we always talk about chiropractors. And they, I always laugh about that because I'm like, I've never understood that. Why in America we take chiropractors so seriously when over in the UK and other parts of Europe, they look at them as quacks. They're just quacks over there. And it's like, why do we take them so seriously over here? They're not doctors. They don't actually have any license to do anything. So why do we continue to do it? But
I would say it's actually a con of it's actually kind of it has to do with the way our society is. It has to do a little bit with the way freedom works. It's one of the bad parts of the freedom that we have.
It's true. I mean, they have that ability to like kind of lobby and make their own little board and make their own. I mean, chiropractic medicine is. I don't know if anyone is aware, but it is not very good, and It
No,
is basically
it's dangerous, actually.
It's basically anti-vax. Okay, let's just because a lot of them are anti-vax, and that's scary to think of as well. Like this chiropractor you go to that pops your back and might put you through some form of physical therapy, also doesn't believe in vaccinations. Like, whoa, wait a second now. Like,
there was
really
actually a news report.
My back?
Yeah, there was actually a news report of a chiropractor that was doing adjustments on like newborn babies.
Oh yeah,
instead of vaxing.
Yeah, he was doing adjustments on newborn babies
instead of vaxing. It's absolutely disgusting.
It's some of the craziest stuff ever, and that's why in a lot of places, like in the UK, for example, they're looked at as quacks. Now they're still allowed to do it, but in some, like I think Germany, it's completely illegal. You can't even practice chiropractic medicine. Like they've just made it illegal. They're like, no, it's fake. Nobody can do it.
Yeah.
I mean, over here we don't take that ability away from them, and I don't know if that's bad or I mean, obviously it's got its benefit. I hate to say it like that. I don't want to say that chiropractic medicine has its benefits. I mean that the ability to do whatever you want has its benefits. I wanted to rephrase that so people didn't think I was saying chiropractors are good.
That has the chiropractic movement and a number of movements like that. It comes from capitalism. That's kind of where it comes from, the free market kind of thing. I don't know how we got off on that, but that always just that stuff always just eats me alive. When I hear family members, 20 years ago, I mean, when I was a little bitty kid, I would hear my uncles and aunts and say, I got to go to my chiropractor. And I always thought when I was a young kid, oh, a chiropractor, he's probably a doctor, And then I got older and found out they're not even doctors. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, my whole life I have thought that these people were like real doctors and that my neighbor was like a real doctor, and he wasn't. he wasn't in anything. He went to like a 3-week course and then was like, this is what I do forever. It's like, oh my gosh, I had more training at the post office. Yeah, I mean, there are so many different quote unquote remedies that are out there like that, and these guys make a mint teaching people how to do it.
Reflexology.
And then these people go out and do it and
create their own it ends up being their own business. Yeah, well, it
ends up being more like almost a pyramid scheme, but the idea that Penn and Teller's bullshit. They had this one guy that had this vibrating machine that you put that he says, you put this on somebody's foot and you rotate it around and everything like that.
Yeah. Reflexology.
And reflexology. Something like reflexology. Yeah. And they're like, oh well, the course costs you like $2,000 up front, and then you end up you can pay that off with how much money you make getting your patients in. And I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Do you remember? Okay. Do you remember the skit that they did after that, where Penn is in the car and Teller is like tapping the wheel of the car, and Penn has to go, "Yeah, he's changing my spark plugs."
Yeah. The free market allows all this stuff to pop up, and they're not covered by, say, the is it the FTC? No, it's Sierra. No.
It's
whatever fucking thing.
I just like to say the
shit.
board. I just like to say the board.
Yes, yes, the authority. They're not covered by these guys. They're not watched by these guys. And if something bad happens, I mean, at that point, you go and sue them or something. But it's
and in many cases you can sue them, but at the same time, you really don't have any leg to stand on.
Especially if you signed a waiver beforehand.
Yeah, you signed a waiver beforehand that allows them to do whatever they wanted.
And I have family that's into all this extra stuff, especially since I have nerve damage and that.
I do too.
They've been trying to get me into every little thing that's new age or that they've seen on the internet.
For example, I hate my wife right now is completely vegan.
Yeah. Oh God.
Yeah, I know. She's completely vegan. She only I have to take. I hate it so much,
dude. Seriously though, you keep her B12 up, or you're going to be on the menu next. Let's just put it that way, okay? You keep that B12 up, man.
She is fine. It just makes me so mad.
Actually, they proved that you cannot be healthy on a vegan diet for more than, I think it was 3 years.
Well, here's the thing.
Then you'll have massive problems.
Well, here's the thing, and you're right. If you went on a strict vegan diet, then you would start having real problems.
Okay, well, vegan is strict. If you're vegetarian, that's a different story. So is she vegan or vegetarian?
No, she's vegan. But the problem is that now they make like these vegan chicken sandwiches and these vegan this and vegan.
Oh, those are such a scam.
I know they are.
There's a report recently actually that shows that those are so highly processed. They are way more detrimental to your health than just having a regular cheeseburger or fried chicken.
Hey guys.
Yes.
I would like to say thank you for being part of the podcast.
Welcome to the Boycott Everything podcast.
You're holding my captain.
If you've never listened to our podcast, this is actually kind of normal where rants come from nowhere about anything. Yeah. And
it branches off.
Look,
this thing does. It makes me so angry though.
Can we all agree that mental health is bad and fuck
mental health is bad?
No, we want good mental health.
I want
mental health is good. We want healthy mentally.
No. Sarcasm cannot be missed when I'm talking. It can be missed on the internet, but it's not missed. Fuck mental health and fuck vaccinations. Everybody should die.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not good. That's not true.
That's going to get clipped. That's going to get...
But thank you.
You're a white male. Anyway, what?
Oh, God.
I can say that because I'm Native American. So, CriticalAnger, is there anything you would like to shout out and discuss before we leave?
Sorry, who are you talking to?
Yeah,
you.
Oh, me. Oh.
I said CriticalAnger, not angry guy.
Oh.
Because said to be two, you and Rev.
Everybody, hey, thanks for listening. I'm on Discord. I'm just kind of hanging around and that sort of thing. Maybe you guys will see me again. Who knows? I don't know.
I'm definitely gonna invite you back to some other shit. This was
that'd be fun. Hey, you know what? I got tons of fucking time in my hands. So by all means, bring me back. Please, I need to socialize. Please.
It was fun to listen to you and Z-Heg bounce shit off each other and me just go, but mental health doesn't stop veganism.
Yeah. No, guys, all I can say is try and keep yourself sane. Do whatever you can to do that. Try and make yourself happy as much as you possibly can. And take it from a guy. Like, here's the thing. I will give better advice than I'll ever take. So, there's some good advice coming your way because I'm a wreck. Moving on. Thank you very much.
Z-Heg.
Yeah. This was supposed to be about mental health, and I guess we got off on that.
No.
Welcome to the Boycott Everything podcast.
Just in a new way.
Yeah, just in a new way. So yeah, I guess to end on mental health, though, I would say if you're having any mental health issues or any types of problems, reach out to a psychiatrist. Me and my wife talked about this yesterday, and I was saying like, there's a good chance that your insurance will what is going on here?
You kind of went down for a second.
I cut out? Okay.
Yeah.
I was saying if you're having real problems like mentally, reach out to a psychiatrist and talk to your insurance because there's a good chance that they might actually cover it as well. And I don't think a lot of people know that, which is why they're afraid to reach out to like psychiatrists and stuff. But there's a good chance your insurance will actually cover it. And if they don't, reach out to your state insurance as well. Or if you don't have state insurance because your state doesn't do that, reach out to, we do have the Affordable Care Act nowadays, and you can actually go to a psychiatrist. So if you're having a problem, reach out, go to them, take care of yourself.
And to leave this off, I know we tangented out and we ran it out, but it was a good conversation. And I think if you're listening, know that there are people out there that will listen to you talk. Like Z-Heg has been there for me, and Wooly is one of my dearest friends, and he does it all the time. But more importantly, and it will be down below, every number to every suicide hotline that we can find will be put down below. So you always have them if you have this channel up. I think it's important that if you need help, you fucking get it. Don't let it get as bad as I have, please, because I almost took myself away from my family by being super strong Cajun Native American crazy guy on the internet. Don't do it. Just breathe, make the call, and they'll help you. And that is it. Thank you all for being part of the podcast.